Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Transitions Collective. We are a network to inspire, empower, and connect with women entrepreneurs. I am here today with my dear friend, Cassie Mascari. She is the co-founder of Little Hoboken, a small media company in town that is doing really big things. So I'm really excited to talk to her today and for you all to learn a little bit more about Cassie and her business. So, hey, Cassie.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today.
Anything for you, Mary?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I wanted to start off, if you could start off by telling us a little bit about your background, yourself and your family, so the audience learns a little bit more about you.
Yeah, I am a Jersey girl, and I have a husband and a 3-year-old daughter, and a little boy on the way due in October.
Yay!
I am a speech language pathologist, which I've been for 10 years, although I kind of left that career and took quite a different path. Which I know that's what we were talking
Yes,
about.
you did. Yes, exactly.
So I still dabble in it here and there, but for the most part, being a mom just really became my focus in my life, and it's just really what I,
Mm-hmm.
love to do. And so I kind of found a career and a way to kind of make that my focus.
I love that. So can you tell us a little? So tell us a little bit about your background first as a speech pathologist and what kind of led you to where you are now with Little Hoboken.
Truthfully, things kind of all come full circle. I got into speech language pathology because I loved working with kids and being around kids. I was a camp counselor. My mom made me be a camp counselor. She woke me up one morning and was like, "You have a job today." It
Like
was
what?
at that's my mama. It was at a camp for kids with special needs, and I just kind of fell in love with it. I fell in love with kind of figuring out what they could do and figuring out how to help them do it. I found that I was somebody who didn't focus on what they couldn't do, but rather, what they could. And so it really started this career path for me. It was all in my maternal instincts, I guess.
It was.
So I went on to, study speech and kind of fell more into medical speech pathology as I got through it. So I've worked in hospitals, with medically fragile kids and adults, and things kind of again come full circle. I left the hospital for a bit, joined a private practice, which I guess is kind of where I got a lot of my entrepreneurial. Never say that word.
You're fine. We know it.
To start a business. But just being part of that practice and really being so involved in the day to day. So that's kind of my life as a pathologist. And then once, life happens, things change, kids come.
Yep.
So I wasn't able to really focus on it full time the way I wanted to. So we took a little break. And then, once I had Eliza, I was kind of itching for that like mental stimulation in the adult world again. So where we are.
And can you tell us a story a little bit about how Little Hoboken came to be? Because it's so for those of you that don't know, I mean, I'm basically obsessed with Little Hoboken. I kind of like
kind of a groupie, but we love
I'm a total groupie. I love the concept and I love what it does for the community. So can you tell everyone a little bit about that too?
About how we started.
Yeah, how you started. Yep.
So I have a business partner, Melissa, and the two of us really came at it from very, very different angles. We were both new moms, little babies, didn't know what we were doing with these things. And for me, coming from a speech language pathology background, I was kind of on, I was on these mommy boards and things. I was seeing some really good questions come up. My child's not eating, what should I do? Questions about child development, just different things. And the answers they were getting were so bad. And as an expert, I was kind of like, ugh, like I wish I could give more, but it's not my role. Like I have this 2-week-old that like, I don't know what I'm doing with her yet. And I don't feel like I'm in that position to really give advice. Like it just didn't seem right. But I was like, there's so many more experts. I know there's so many resources around town. So there's got to be a better way to get the right information from the right people. And Melissa separately was one of those other moms who asked about sleep training or something and like got attacked. And she was like, whoa, there's got to be a way, to like truly have a non-judgmental way
Yep.
to information. So when the two of us met and realized that we kind of had the same idea, just from different ways, we both have different areas of expertise, and she's an amazing event planner, and she's like the most painfully organized person I've ever met. So it just kind of came from there. And then we just kind of followed what worked. We followed what people were responding to, and that's kind of where it built. I mean, there was definitely things we tried and we're like, that didn't work at all. Nobody cared, or like, that was terrible, but if you follow kind of the feedback, that's kind of really how Little Hoboken grew.
So you started first as the blog.
Yeah, started just as an online blog and some like meetups in the park.
Okay.
That's really how it started.
And then now, and I mean, you've scaled quite a bit since then, but you have, which is, yay, I know, so exciting. I'm such a groupie, it's ridiculous. And you have the little lists, which is the resource, which I love those because you can just go. So the little lists are, for the.
Yeah, so like people can stop asking the same questions over and over. Like, anybody know a photographer? Yes, there's 100. Here you go. Here's a list: handyman, music classes. Which restaurants allow strollers? Which restaurants have kids meals? Which ones have changing tables? So we just have these quick, easy little lists. They are easy
Yeah, I
to
love those.
pop up on your phone or on your computer, or print out or whatever. And it's been great. I mean, listen, we get businesses now that will call and say, I saw your list. I now installed a changing table. Can you add me? They're like, mommy wins.
Amazing. Yes. Hello. Yes.
Do that. So,
One day they're going to come and say that they put a changing table in the men's restroom.
So it's on the list. If some have,
Yeah.
Melissa's really good. I forget because I don't use them anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
she's just
You're
really
going to have to be using them again soon.
But soon I'll be. Although second kid, I'll probably be changing my. But no, like her husband, if he goes to the restroom in a restaurant, she'll be like, just check if there's a changing table. She's good about it.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so there's so many other things that you guys have grown to. I mean, and I think Hoboken also, because a lot of people, some listeners may not know this, but it's such a unique community in that it's so close-knit and family-friendly, even though it is a small city.
Yeah.
So I guess a little bit about your seeing the need and then how you've grown. What would you say is one of the more organic ways that you've grown, and a surprise maybe that's happened in these last couple years or so that you've been developing Little Hoboken?
I think truthfully, it's all been a little bit of a surprise. I mean, we never expected it to grow the way that it has. But again, as you said, it's a really, really special community. It used to be so transient. I mean, it still is to some degree, but it used to be, you had kids and you left, and there's just more and more people that are staying. And there's this huge shift from pre-kids in Hoboken to kids, all of a sudden, like, you just can't go to the same places, you're not doing the same things. And it's a whole new world. So it's one of those things you just don't know until you are in it. And so that's kind of what keeps us alive, is all of that, like that new wave coming through all the time of new moms. And then also those that have really chosen to stay, those have been some of our biggest supporters, because
right here.
They see, how committed we are to the community and growing with families in the community. And there just wasn't anything like that before. There wasn't anything that really stayed committed to being updated all the time, changing things up as kids, get older or
Mm-hmm.
families grow. So I think that's really what works for us. But there's definitely been a lot of changes, a lot of new things. I mean, I started photography, which if you told
Yeah.
me years ago that I would ever pick up a camera and know what to do with it, I would have thought you were crazy. But it's something we needed within the business, and so I decided to start taking classes. Um, and I just kind of got addicted. So that's been like probably one of my personal biggest surprises.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we have been scaling quite a bit. I know you love that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like I said before, we're really listening, like what our community is kind of responding to, and doing more of
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
keeping us on interesting path.
Yeah. Which is great. I mean, that's how, yeah, you grow and expand and provide new services to people in town. I mean, like I said, I love it. So I think it's a great resource for
Yeah.
everyone here. Um, in terms of, so we'll switch gears a little bit. And for people that want to maybe expand their businesses and work with influencers. So Little Hoboken, I mean, you're the blog in town, you're a resource in town. You are there for new moms and babies and their growth. um, how about working with businesses that support your niche, I guess, in the area of moms and babies? Like how would you tell someone to work maybe with an influencer, because you guys are influencers in the market, and I think
I think the first and foremost thing is to find an influencer that shares your audience. I think it's more about that than it is about how many followers they have or how much they charge for a post, or you know all that stuff. I mean, you could buy followers. I know tons of people do. You don't, you never have. But it's, do they have that same audience, and does that audience respond to those kinds of posts? Is really kind of the question I would ask.
mhm,
Um, there's plenty of businesses that have come to us, and we've basically, said, like, you're not going to get anything out of working with us because that's not what our mom community is looking for. But here are 3 great people that will definitely get you results.
mhm,
And we do that all the time.
yeah,
Um, so I think it's about finding the right influencer, and then once you find them, develop a relationship with them, and kind of respect that it is a business too. I think a lot of people think like, oh, I'll just send them some free stuff and hope they, and then they'll talk
yeah,
like, it's not always how it works. Like for us, it's important to really be genuine, and to share things that we really like, or we know of in the community. So, um, yeah, I think just
yeah.
the right influencer for you.
Yeah, I think the days are a little bit more numbered, right? With in the beginning with influencers, you could do a lot more of maybe sharing, or like, here, I'll give you free product and that's it. But I've seen a lot of things more lately about, I mean, it's just, that's not the space anymore. If you're looking at people that are really making an impact, you do have to,
Well, it's a lot of
you know,
work. It is
yeah.
a lot. I mean, and listen, there's plenty of things that we come across on our own that we share, and that's not sponsored. Nobody paid for it. It's, that's us just coming across something cool and we want to share it. But for
Not sponsored, just awesome. I love that.
that's awesome. But if you come to us and you want us to advertise, then it's an advertisement, and then there's laws and rules, and
Yeah.
people are paying attention that bloggers now are influencers and do have make an impact, and so
Hmm.
um, there's a lot of work that goes into it. We have contracts, and a lot of back end stuff. So it's become a business.
Yeah.
So works for me.
Yeah. I love it too. I mean, really. Um, okay, so we'll switch gears a little bit more. I wanted to ask you, for those that are watching that are in the space of, thinking about leaving or leaving corporate America, I ask this question to all the people that I interview as well, is what is the one skill, if you have more than one, that's fine, but what's the most important that you can think of, the most important skill that's helped you from leaving corporate life and being an entrepreneur?
I think just being resourceful. I think if you're going to start a business, you have to know when you need help and be willing to seek it. I think that where people go wrong could be just thinking they can do everything on their own or they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And you can often get in over your head with stuff. I think part of this comes from me being a clinician. I know what I do, and I know what I can do really well, and I know when I need to refer to another clinician, another therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I try to take that over into business. Like there are things that I do well, and I'm going to do them, and then there are times where I need to pass it off to either my business partner or hire somebody or bring somebody in. Because you just can't do everything yourself, and if you try, you're probably not going to do it all right.
Yeah.
So.
No, that makes sense. That's a great tip. I will, okay, I can't help myself. I will ask you something else about scaling because of that. Um, so I feel like you've scaled, I mean, it's an evolving thing, but you've probably had a few milestones where you've really scaled quite a bit. And did you know at the time when you were going through it, or how did that work out for you?
I think each scale, like big scale that we've really done to help elevate our business probably came a little bit later than it should have. I tend to be really cautious. And so I'm not like so quick to hire. I don't like to give out my money. So it's funny because I just said hire people. But,
Yeah, but it's true. But you also have to be mindful of your finances. It's
yeah,
very important.
I'm always thinking of the back end stuff. Like, oh, okay, I'd love to branch here, but then we need a lawyer to look at that and talk about that. Like, I don't just think about what that one step is. I think about all the 15
Mm-hmm.
steps that one step creates. So I tend to be a little bit more cautious. But I will say some of our big scales have happened because they've been on the table for a while. I have the benefit of having Melissa, so we really bounce things off and we talk about things all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So there's been quite a few things that have been on the table and we've put out there, we've talked about what we would need in order to make it happen without jumping at it so fast. And then as things kind of fall into play, we'll be like, okay, remember we talked about this. I think
Mm-hmm.
which maybe means we found the right person or something happened within like a market that made us think, we're ready to go there. We've
Right.
markets or like we just hired an assistant and that was because Melissa and I were complaining that we were drowning for like a good 6 months before I was like, okay, let's talk about this again. And then, we sat down and really talked about what that meant for us. So yeah, I think we don't jump in anything too fast, but when it's time, like we really know it's time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You've already been thinking about it and noodling on it. Yeah.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have a business partner, to be honest with you, because
So
I have that luxury.
such a good time. I was going to ask that too, because yeah, I was going to ask that because, for myself or for a lot of people out there, they may be, solopreneurs, I guess is the word for them, so it's unique when you have a business partner and that you have a business partner that you work so well with. Obviously, I love you both dearly. So, and you do work so well together. So what are some of the benefits of that, and how do you recognize each other's space, and do you have boundaries around it?
I mean, we have boundaries because we love each other and we respect each other. We don't handle everything the same way. So we've learned, it's been a little bit of a learning curve, but we've learned like certain situations will come up and we'll say like, this is a Melissa problem. You need to handle this because I know how she will approach it. And that's the way it needs to be approached.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, there's times where she's like, this needs a Cassie touch, go for it. But we really kind of, I guess really spent time and like got to know each other and know our strengths and weaknesses. And neither one of us are afraid to say like, I can't do this. This is on you. Or like, this is my job. I'm better at this and I'm going to take it. So we have that, but I think overall, like it's finding somebody that you work well together with is a huge benefit. I think it makes so many things easier because I always have somebody to bounce ideas off of, and make decisions with. And how many times even just in your regular life are you not sure if you should do something? Like, I call my mom about really
Yeah.
still to this day. And in business, they call Melissa. So it's kind of it's nice. I think if you don't have that, then just bringing somebody on doesn't have to be your partner, but bringing somebody on that gets your mission and your brand and truly understands your business, that you can kind of help guide you.
Someone that you can have like as a confidant, because that's a nice thing. Also, it's a business partner, so you can tell them, your business ideas, and it's staying with your business partner. It's not going to anyone else. So similar, I guess, to a relationship with a lawyer. Good thing I have Jamie. We all have Jamie. But that kind of thing, or even a business coach, I guess, too, could be the other scenario. But
anybody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, Mom, I didn't mean to forget you, because I do call her all the time too. But that's really great. So in terms of if someone's looking to bring on a partner, what do you think is the most important thing to think about in terms of that?
I don't know about bringing on a partner. I don't know. I don't want to.
Well, say they're starting out
together, but
say they're starting out though, not they don't already have like a big established business and they're bringing a partner in.
I think find somebody that you're not. This might sound terrible, but somebody you're not really friends with, so that your relationship can be business first.
Yeah.
And if a friendship develops from that, then great. But sometimes kind of bringing a friend on makes it harder to have those business conversations happen. Melissa and our friendship really developed from being business partners. So now, we have that friendship and it's great, but we can put that aside and have a really direct business conversation if we need to. I kind of would say, like, I don't know that I would really get into business with a good friend or family or something. And I know there's a million people that have done it, and that's great.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's been the benefit.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point, because it also it's a different dynamic and a different type of courage when you have to have some of those conversations, and so that's a very good point.
I don't like asking my friends for money like after dinner. So like
right.
Business, I don't know if I could do it.
I know, imagine. Oh my God. Amazing. Okay. Well, where can everyone find you, Cassie, and Little Hoboken, and Melissa?
I know. So it's littlehobokenblog.com or at Little Hoboken on Instagram.
And your photography?
Oh, thanks. It's littlehobokenphotography.com and then Little Hoboken Photography on Instagram.
And I'll put everything in the notes too for the interview, so everyone can find you that way. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for your time and all of your business insight. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Cassie from Little Hoboken. She had a lot of great tips around community building and also working with influencers. I especially liked what she said about moving from corporate to entrepreneur and knowing when to reach out, when to get help, when to ask someone if you might be either overwhelmed or not know about a certain space. So it's important to recognize what you can do and recognize that you do have to wear a lot of hats as an entrepreneur. But when there's really a space that is not your expertise, to reach out and make connections and get that information from other sources and use the experts. So I think that's really important to note. I also love that she talked about partnerships and when you're in a partnership, what's that like and how to approach it if you have a new business and you're thinking about bringing someone onto that business with you or into that business with you. And also about the influencer marketing space. So I think it's also important to recognize, as she mentioned, being connected with the influencer. So if you want to go after a certain market or your product or your service is for a certain market and you want to work with influencers in that space, make sure that they're really connected to your same avatar, to your same ideal client, because that will make your money go farther and have a bigger impact for you. If you use, an influencer that maybe has a wide net and a large audience, but they're not really specific to what you're doing, you might not see the value of it the same way. So I thought that was a really great piece of advice. Anyway, if you have any questions, you can check the show notes. Cassie is at littlehobokenblog.com. There's also Little Hoboken Photography. If you want to find her online on Instagram, it's at Little Hoboken. And as always, I would love to hear from you. So if you have any questions or you want to reach out to me, you can find me thetransitionscollective.com. Send me an email, and I would love to talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.